You're on a flight. Everything seems fine until an emergency strikes. The pilot becomes incapacitated, and the situation requires someone, maybe you, to step in and take control. Landing an airplane without any flying experience may sound impossible, but with calmness, guidance, and step-by-step instructions, you could be the hero of the day. In this video, we'll guide you through how to safely land an airplane in an emergency, even if you've never flown before. Let's start by breaking it down. Stay calm and communicate. The first and most critical step is to stay calm. Panicking will not help the situation, and time is of the essence. Key takeaways. Deep breaths. Take deep breaths to calm your nerves. Head to the cockpit. If the pilot is unresponsive, you'll need to step into the cockpit immediately. Once in the cockpit, the first thing you should do is establish communication with air traffic control, ATC. They are your lifeline and will provide you with all the guidance you need. Visual aid. Find the radio. Look for the microphone or headset. The communication panel is usually in the center or on the side. Pick up the radio or headset and press the button to talk. Example call. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is flight number. The pilot is incapacitated and I need help landing the plane. Once you've established communication, follow the instructions given by the air traffic controller. They will stay with you throughout the entire process. Stay calm and speak slowly. Understanding the basic controls. Let's move on to understanding the basic controls. Don't worry about mastering everything. We'll focus only on the essentials you need to land safely. Visual aid yoke, steering. Controls the airplane's direction. Push forward to descend. Pull back to climb. Turn left or right to steer. Throttle, speed control. The levers that control engine power. You'll need to reduce throttle to slow the plane as you prepare to land. Rudder pedals, yaw control. Foot pedals that control the direction of the plane's nose. Use them to keep the plane aligned with the runway during landing. Now, don't worry about every switch and button in the cockpit. Air traffic control will guide you through what you need, but understanding the yoke, throttle, and rudder pedals are your primary focus. Leveling the plane and descending. Once you've established communication and learned the basic controls, the next step is to level the airplane and prepare for descent. The key here is not to make sudden movements. Visual aid, check your altitude. Look at the altitude gauge. Air traffic control will tell you what altitude to maintain before starting descent. Reduce speed. Slowly pull back on the throttle to reduce the plane's speed, as instructed by air traffic control. As you reduce speed, ensure the plane is level. You'll do this by adjusting the yoke, pushing forward slightly if you're climbing or pulling back if you're descending too fast. ATC will guide you, but the goal is to maintain a steady altitude and speed. Approach to the runway. Once you're ready to land, air traffic control will guide you toward a specific runway. This is the part where focus is key. Visual aid lining up with the runway. Use the yoke to turn the airplane and align with the runway. Air traffic control will tell you the heading. Lower the landing gear. Find the landing gear lever, usually marked with a small airplane symbol, and lower it by pulling down. At this point, you'll be getting closer to the ground. Keep your movements gentle and make sure the plane is lined up straight with the runway using the rudder pedals. Gently lower the nose of the plane and descend gradually toward the runway. Maintain a slow, controlled descent. You want to avoid descending too fast or too steep. As you approach the runway, keep your focus on bringing the plane down slowly and steadily. Flare the plane. When you're just above the ground, 20-30 feet, gently pull back on the yoke to raise the nose slightly. This is called flaring and helps the plane touch down smoothly. The plane will naturally touch down on its rear wheels first, followed by the front. As soon as you touch the ground, pull the throttle back to idle to reduce speed. Once you're on the ground, it's time to bring the plane to a stop. Gently press on the brakes to slow the plane further. Use the rudder pedals to keep the plane centered on the runway as you decelerate. Congratulations! You've made it safely to the ground, but the job isn't done just yet. Now you need to taxi and shut down the airplane. Follow ATC instructions. Air traffic control will guide you on where to taxi after landing. Use gentle throttle adjustments to move the plane and steer using the rudder pedals. Once you're parked, you can shut down the engines by pulling the throttle to its lowest position and turning off the master switch. You've done it. You've successfully landed an airplane in an emergency. This incredible feat was possible because you stayed calm, listened carefully, and followed step-by-step instructions. While landing an airplane without experience is a rare event, understanding these fundamental steps could be the difference between life and death in an emergency. Remember, stay calm, communicate with air traffic control, and trust the process.